Well, welcome back to Rickets Reef. This is going to be a little update on the display and what's been going on. I know I've been doing a lot of updates on the back room, the sump room, and the inner workings of the tank. But let's show what this is all about. The display, the corals, and how they're doing. I do have some new stuff coming for some further automation, and I will get to that when the time comes. But let's take a closer look at the corals. Well, I always like to take a start with the clowns and the candy cane. Candy cane's doing fantastic. Actually, the blue tang was rubbing himself on it, and that was kind of annoying the candy cane, but he has since stopped doing that, and candy cane is doing great. The little guy there, as you can see, he loves the candy cane. He's made himself a little hole, and on top there he sleeps. That's his little bed. Oh, sleepy time. Yeah, so that's cool. They're doing pretty good. The fish, the coral itself. Over here I've got my Montipora, and it is growing really well. There's just lots of new growth. Now, in the back here, my green slimers are actually starting to branch. If you can see that, it's starting to branch, and it looks like it will hit my Monty cap soon. So I'm going to have to do something about that. Maybe trim the Monty cap since it's big. I want the green slimer to grow. In the back there, I've got a blue cap, and it's close to growing on the window, which is pretty cool, and if it does that, I will let it. Another coral I'm really happy about is this pink Millie. I don't know if these colors are going to come through. See if I can get a little closer here. But it hasn't been growing at all until I moved it over here, and now it's got a lot of new spikes, and that one there is just incredible. The amount of growth on that, weekly I see massive changes. Same with this guy here. Let me stand up here just so I make sure I don't get all the blues. But yeah, that guy has just grown immensely. Lots of new growth. Got that guy in the back. He's doing really well. Most of the corals on this side are just doing fantastic. Ones in the back. Now if you see, I don't know if you can see, just on top of that snail there's a dead branch from that Millipora, which is fine because that thing's so huge now I have to chop it down because of it's almost hitting the power head return, or the pump return. But if you see, there's a little bit of white right there, and what's happened is those two have grown into each other, and that one seems more strong, so it's actually killed a little bit of that one, it seems. Which is fine, I'll chop it off. And I've got tons of that purple Montipora digitata. Here I've got some growth on the red one, the yellow stag in the back, this blue guy coming up, there's a lot of new branches there. This guy behind here, right here, he's gotten a lot of new branches, which is very cool because he hasn't grown before. Behind there I got a tricolor that's growing a lot. And then way back there, there's some yellow and brown, just SPS. I don't know what it is, but hopefully it'll do okay. It's not the greatest looking coral, that's why I threw it in the back. Down here in the front, I've got a nice tricolor growing along there, creating a nice colony. Sorry for the sound of the tripod going crack crack, but I think it needs some oil or some WD. That red guy's pretty awesome. You know, he's got that new stick coming out there, and it's got a couple new ones coming from there. That's really great. That green guy, I forgot about him. I found him under a rock. I guess something knocked him off, possibly my new emerald crab, but something knocked him off. Found him, put him on there, and he seems to be surviving, so hopefully he'll start to grow. My red cap still hasn't really grown much, but it is encrusting on the rock underneath it, so I'd imagine soon enough I'll get some noticeable growth. The bird's nest is just going crazy. Yeah, it's hard to believe that was just a tiny 1-inch frag not too long ago. Now, a lot of this growth, especially with these digitatas, like look at that, that's just nuts. That was just some frags not too long ago. But a lot of this growth I attribute to getting my water stable. The alkalinity, the calcium, with the dosing pumps from BRS, wow, made a big difference. Using the Apex system to monitor that. These blue zoes are almost all over the frag plug. I put them on underneath the frag plug they came on, so I'm going to put that on another one. That's how I'm going to frag these guys, is I'm going to put rocks around them and have them grow onto them. Same with the Duncan. I put some rocks around there, and you know, he's just doing awesome. Hey there, cleaner grass or whatever you are. You gotta see this. Little, just in there like swimwear. Yes, yes, that's your coral. That's your baby. You guys love it. Talk about nuzzling in. That's what he does when he gets all freaked out. He gets all snuggled in there. Oh, here's a couple other fish. There's the blue tang. He's doing really well. Sailfin tang. He's doing fine. So yeah, the fish in general are all doing really good. Everything's doing pretty good. What else I got going on here? I got my red zoes there. They're growing like mad all over the show. So that's alright. Don't mind that. Got a couple frags of digitata. If you see, they've already encrusted onto the base, which is pretty cool. I've got a system coming for cleaning out my cleaning out the gravel. I've got a vacuum coming, and I'll show that later on. This guy is actually starting to grow, which is really cool. I wanted to get nice and big. That rock there, I had my zoes on, my premium zoes. There's one there, and the purple ones are back there. But my emerald crab, I saw, he grabbed them, pulled them off, cleaned out from underneath the frag plug, and then just chucked them. So I gotta put those back on. Most of the fish are hiding right now, except for the really unshy ones like those two, and that cardinal, that big cardinal. And there's Jello, the grandma. Hey, Jello. So corals over here are doing good. Now I do have a problem here, is a lot of these corals, if you see, this is a pretty dense area right now. They're growing into each other, and some of them are winning and some of them are losing. So I'm actually forced to frag right now. That's a good sign. So I've actually ordered most of my equipment for my frag tanks, and I'm going to be starting a build on the frag tank soon. Yeah, I've got the pump coming. I'm going to go pick up the plumbing this weekend. The only thing I have left to do is really grab the light fixture, or figure out what I'm going to do for the light fixture. I'm probably going to do a mixture of T8s and LEDs for the LPS tank, and T5s and LEDs for the SPS tank. So we'll see how that goes. One of the cardinals is down there. I think he's freaked out of the camera. And as always, there's my big bad boy, my red acan, who is just massive. I don't feed him, but he just keeps going. He's almost covered that entire rock. Hopefully he'll stop at that rock and grow big like a brain. But I'm worried he's going to take over the tank. So actually, when I get the LPS tank running, I'm probably going to put him in there. That way it'll be easy to feed, and I can maybe even chop him up. That green frog spawn is awesome. I haven't seen many like him, so he's pretty cool. I really enjoy him. He's got about 3 heads now. When I got him, he only had 1, but you can't see him this time of day. At night they come out. There's the mushroom mountain. Hopefully they'll grow more babies, but it's doing all right. I don't know where the fox face is. Back there, like, if you can see that coral, the amount of growth on it is just ridiculous. And that's one of 3 things, or combination: the alkalinity and calcium stabilization, the LED systems, and or the automatic water changer system that I've got going on now. So I think a combination of those 3 things have really helped. That one there is actually starting to cover the one underneath it, if you see there. So I'm going to have to cut some of those off. That staghorn right there is definitely needing a trim because it's growing into the other ones. Some of those ones need a trim. Another thing you'll notice if you've been watching my corals and my videos, did you see that green one back there? That thing has never grown, ever. And just in the last, I guess, month, you see all those new branches, those big branches coming off to the side there? That's all new. That's just within a month. So I am really happy that that thing is growing. That means something's going right, because that thing was never really growing. Same with that Solomon Tort, that one right there, that big purpley guy. Not growing much, and now all of a sudden, shazam! It's got tons of new branches coming off all over the place, up there, down there. But again, the problem with this is space. They kind of grow into each other, so I got to get those frag tanks up and running. Really enjoying how the tank is working now. Everything's automated, there's safety systems, there's fallbacks, so pretty pleased. All in all, the display tank is doing very well. So yeah, proof is in the pudding, I guess. System works. LEDs are working. Bio pellets, I guess, are working, but I also have a refugium, so that could be working too. I do have a little bit of bubble algae, but that's about it. And the emerald crab and the foxface seem to keep that under control. If it gets bad enough, I'm sure I'll stick my hand in there and fix it. Bubble algae is not a hard fix, and it doesn't seem to be taking over any areas. Fish, tranquil, nice and calm. There's no disputes really. The cardinals can fight from time to time, but they often just stay away from each other so they don't get any spats. They don't hurt each other. So tank's in a nice spot right now, and I hope to keep it that way as long as possible and just kind of keep on growing. So, any questions or comments, again, always welcome. I hope you've enjoyed this video and watching the growth with me. Take care.